Katakros, the Mortarch of the Necropolis, strides the mortal realms as a colossus of war. Accompanied by his royal legions, this immortal strategist coordinates not just the battle before him, but also a sprawling campaign across the lands. Those who seek to slay him are either dispatched by his champions or cut down by the glaive of the Mortarch himself. Orpheon Katakros is the emperor of an undying elite, and he goes to war with all the pomp and circumstance that befits his station. Distrusting steeds since the disastrous chariot charge that cost him his life, he simply strides to battle with the surety of a god. It is his wont to take a commanding vantage point from which he can look down on the battlefield, surrounded by his most valued aides, just as he did in life, though, like their master, they too are long dead. The regiments of the Katakrosian army are the Mortarch's blade and shield, for he has no wish to sully himself with the business of violence. Instead, he focuses on more cerebral matters. His indomitable will reaches out to invigorate and inspire his troops wherever his gaze passes across them. A Katakrosian legion is a perfectly honed tool of war, a military body of surpassing discipline, guided by the genius of a leader steeped in centuries of experience. His time spent trapped within the storm vault of Liege-Immortis did not still his mind, having dwelt on matters of revenge across the entirety of the Age of Chaos. It is now a more sophisticated and dangerous weapon than ever before. The supernatural focus Katakros brings to the art of war, facilitated by his entourage. At his right hand is his Liege-Immortis, the high-helmed champion who commands the Immortis Guard that protects him on the field of battle. At his left is his prime Necropolis, the bearer of Katakros' sacred banner. All creatures, living or dead, that see the standard's glinting black canopy raised upon the horizon hear the Mortarch's disciplined tones clear in their mind whenever he speaks. Oftentimes Katakros will wage several wars at once via the bird-like messengers of OSSIARCH Spymaster. He coordinates overlapping campaigns that stretch across thousands of leagues. Even as he breaks the foe's army piece by piece, he dictates documents for their surrender to his keepers of knowledge, the Norus Scroll-bearers, for should enough of the enemy survive to provide a profitable source of tithe, he will seal their fate by binding them in an inescapable arcane contracts. In Nagash's eye, Katakros is the perfect general. He was remade in the idolized form of an exemplar of undeath, a fact he knows full well, further compounding his monstrous sense of superiority. Should a supplicant grovel enough or prove to be particularly silver-tongued, the Mortarch can be bargained with. He will just as willingly subjugate nations through his own twisted form of a diplomacy to secure a vassal state and thereby a steady supply of bone, as he will crush them through military action. To him it is one and the same. Either way, he will have his victory in the end. One such tale of Katakros' greatness is when he fought the armies of Tzeentch. The change demons spilled out by the hundreds, a vile mass of pink and blue flesh pouring from the Pharos realm gate. Katakros sent in another cohort of Mortek Guard, His lips set in a disapproving frown as their front rank were transmutated to scatterings of multicoloured sparks. The portal had served him well, but he had already expended 3 cohorts in trying to reclaim it. The Mortarch glanced at the Necropolis stalkers picking their way through the rubble. "Contain it!" he said, his syllables clipped and precise. The stalkers swept forward, slashing their great blades through the feather-crowned demon herald, still widening the rift. Behind them came a pair of Gothizzar harvesters, the bludgeoning blows from their mace-like hands crushing larger demons, even as their tails and side limbs smashed the lesser versions into puffs of brimstone flame. A vast Aryan monstrosity came through the split in reality, claws ripping the gateway wider as it unleashed its mighty wings. It met Katakros' gaze and shrieked a challenge. A doppelganger of the monstrosity shimmered close by on the Mortarch's left, becoming solid even as the original disappeared entirely. "Attend me," said Katakros to his retainers as the demon came forward, its great taloned foot descending to crush his aides. The other arch sunk a dagger into its knee, but then both the Spy Master and the Necropolis were consumed in a blast of energy, transformed into a scattering blue ravens that called "Zeech! Zeech!" in alarm. His Liege-Immortis stepped in, blocking the creature's bladed staff before stabbing it in its wrist. The greater demon simply leant down and bit his head clean off. It made an arcane gesture, and the Noah scribe curled up into a weird spiral of bone. All inconvenient fates, thought Katakros, but far from irrepassable. "So be it," sighed Katakros, raising the glaive in the cut. The demon belched a torrent of warp flame, but Katakros took it on his shield, dispersing it. Had the creature thought him so ill-prepared? He laughed, flames curling from his lips, as he swept in the cut around in a perfect arc. The beast raised his staff, but the glaive cut through it, sinking into the demon's serpentined neck. The massive head fell into the dirt. Katakros snorted ashes. The day would not yield a single bone, but the great conspirator would know his name. That, at least, was a start. And we end this lore video by a quote from Katakros, the Mortarch of the Necropolis himself. "I was born to bring the mortal realms to heal. I died to defeat chaos, was remade, then died again under the hammer of the Soul Thief. But still I stand, and I stand tall. By the grace of my master Nagash, I have become the doom of empires." And that was my lore video for Katakros, the Mortarch of Necropolis, from the OSSIARCH Bonereapers, which to me feels like Nagash's first Mortarch that he has shaped to his own will to make the perfect general, rather than his other Mortarchs, the ones that we're aware of, who were essentially already existing characters who Nagash utilised their strengths and capabilities and used that to empower his armies by dictating which one of those Mortarchs should lead which legion depending on their strengths. Whereas Katakros he was already a character, he wasn't just made out of nothing, like he said, he was once mortal and fought against chaos, and he fought against the armies of Sigmar and was imprisoned, but Nagash has really sort of shaped him as he would like to, and also the fact that he was already a good strategist and he'd been in prison for a long time, like we said in the Storm Vault, has only just enhanced those capabilities. and was the perfect choice to lead Nagash's OSSIARCH BONEREAPERS, who themselves have all been forged to Nagash's liking also. So he has some really cool lore on the tabletop. He is an awesome model. He's actually a model I don't own, and that's because I only have quite a modest OSSIARCH BONEREAPER collection at the moment, and I will want to expand that later. But currently I'm working on my Nighthaunt, but when I go back to my BONEREAPERs, I will be getting Katakros, and we'll be getting a few other cool things as well. But Katakros surely has to be a lovely centerpiece to your army, depending on your list, of course. And what I would like to say on that sort of note of gameplay reasons is Katakros is very cool in the game. He does a lot of stuff. He doesn't actually fight in the combat phase until his lieutenants have already done so. You know, like all the other models you get on his base, his aides that we've discussed in the lore, they essentially fight first, and then Katakros is eventually put into a position where he has to fight for himself, which he's a bit, you know, he sighs like he did when he fought against the Greater Demon of Siege, but he knows what has to be done, and when he does, he is a beast. And the other cool thing about him on the tabletop is because Petra Elite has been nerfed, which is good, not nerfed in the way I would have liked it. I think they should have had the +1 save, but I believe it should have just been for like characters, you know, heroes who got +1 to the save, and that's it, because they are the elite of the army. But anyway, Petra Elite has been nerfed, which means more people are going to be taking the other legions, more people are going to be looking at the other legions, which is absolutely fantastic. And one of the other legions is actually the one that Katakros leads personally, which is the Mortis Praetorians, which is one that some people looked at, but most people obviously tend to go Petra Elite now. People are going to look at it more, which is cool because Katakros does some cool things specifically within that legion. So there's lots of cool avenues you can take Katakros in your games. He is fantastic. He is one of the models that, honestly, when I saw, almost looks more like a diorama than a game piece. But then when you read the rules and you read the lore and you understand how it all works, it fits in perfectly to your games. And that is the end of the video, guys. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did and you're not a subscriber, please smash that subscribe button. It really does help the channel, keeps it going. If you are a subscriber and you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, as again, that really does support the channel. It's absolutely free for you guys to do so. If you got any questions or any thoughts on the Katakros himself, and it can be in-game or about the lore, please let me know in the comments down below. It'd be great to have a bit of discussion with you guys. If you'd like to take a next step towards helping the channel, I have got a Patreon, which there will be a link at the top of the description down below. You're more than welcome to have a look at. And with that, I want to thank all my Patrons who should be on the screen now. They are the ones who really do help keep this channel going. I know I said if you like and subscribe, that does help keep the channel going, but Patrons are the life and blood of this channel. They are the reasons why I can continue to do this, so I cannot thank each single one of them enough. Okay guys, so remember, until next time, stay safe, stay hygienic, wash your hands, all that stuff, and of course, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.